All right. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to another Talking and Grubbing live stream. Tonight, we're doing the just see crazy dog here with me. Come, thanks for joining me. How you
What's
doing,
going
crazy
on,
dog?
everybody? Crazy dog back with another live stream with my guy, QC from Talking and Grubbing Media. Yeah, you know
Yes,
it. We be
yes.
talking and we be grubbing out here. Because,
Yes,
dogs
somebody
got to
also.
eat, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Also, somebody come in later. But now let's get into this Browns free agency. Now, Andrew Berry, I'm definitely liking what he's done in his first year as GM. You know,
I
do
tell you one thing.
what do you think about Andrew Berry so far?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's definitely lived up to his word. He said he was going to be aggressive, and he's been more than aggressive so far. I mean, the dude has signed, what, 9 guys over the first couple days. I mean,
Yeah,
there was times where I was literally doing a video for a free agency signing, and then all of a sudden, news would break of another signing. I mean,
right.
crap, dude. You said you were going to be aggressive, but wow, I'm impressed. I mean, usually Browns fans on Twitter would be yelling at the team saying, "Come on, man, we need some people. We need to sign some guys." Well, now it's like,
Definitely.
damn, we're signing all these guys, and I'm like, okay, Andrew, okay, I like that. Filling in some of these holes, bringing in some guys on 1 year deals. That's another thing too. Unlike Dorsey, freaking Barry's out here being smart with the money. He's not giving guys 4 or 5 freaking year multi-million-dollar deals like he did with Chris Hubbard. But
Right.
he's giving them nice, cheap, prove it deals to where if they go out there and they ball out, let's say Kevin Johnson or Carl Joseph go out there and absolutely kill it, then oh yeah, we can talk with them later as the season goes on and say, yeah, we're going to give you an extension because we like what you did.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I was definitely surprised that he ended up landing Jack Conklin because I definitely thought Conklin was going to go back to the Titans.
I mean, I was hearing all this time about Conklin going to the Jets. In fact, an article
That
came out
too.
a week or so before free agency started saying that he was going to sign with the Jets. And I'm like, nah, he's probably going to go somewhere else. And turns out he came here, and I was very surprised. I was even more
Yeah.
surprised though with the Hooper signing because I heard absolutely nothing about that for like the past couple of weeks up leading up to free agency, and then legal tampering starts. I look on my phone and I see a tweet from NFL Update. By the way, if you don't follow them, you really should around this time of year because they give
Definitely.
you some
Oh,
really good information. And I guess someone tweeted about us being interested. So, me being the content creator I am, I went out, I made a video talking about it, and then I literally posted the video. And a couple minutes later, boom, we signed it. And I'm like, wow,
right.
okay. I should have just waited like a couple minutes. I would have been able to just go right into the making the signing video. But, you know, that was pretty cool though. Got Hooper, so that's another weapon for this guy right here. We got a guy that
Definitely.
protects Baker. Yeah, that's what we've done so far. And I don't think Barry's done.
Me either. But also with Conklin, a lot of people forget that he can block pretty good in the run too.
Yeah. Another
You
thing
know,
is we
last
also
year,
got Janovich too. Janovich is an
yeah,
amazing run
the
blocking
fullback
fullback.
from Denver. So yeah, that's definitely so those two definitely improve the offensive line. That definitely can open more holes for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Oh yeah, Nick Chubb should feast behind those two.
Definitely. A lot of people and yeah, also I definitely agree with you on Austin Hooper being another weapon for Baker. But also Hooper is a nice blocker as well.
I mean, I heard he's pretty good with the blocking. But every time I
Yeah.
hear Hooper, I just think about that one highlight he had with the Falcons in Chicago, where he catches that pass from Matt Ryan and he takes it to the house, and in doing so, he freaking stiff arms that I don't know who that was. Might have been Amukamara or something. He just stiff armed him to the ground, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like, bro. Imagine if he does that to a freaking Steeler. Oh, I'm going off. I'm walking out. If I'm
Or
streaming a
one of the
game and this
or
dude
Ravens.
Hooper does that to like a Steeler or a Raven or a Bengal, oh, I'm walking off. I'm walking off. I'm like, yep, I'm
It
done.
would
I'm done. I'm done. Yep,
it'd
I'm done.
definitely be
I'm
cool
out.
if he did
See ya.
that to it'll be cool if he did that to Watt or
How about,
Campbell.
I think if he was going
Definitely.
to do it to anyone, it would probably be like Earl Thomas or Joe Hayden or whoever on the Bengals.
Definitely. But I definitely like the Andrew Billen signing from the Bengals. A lot of people sleeping on that signing, because he's a big guy.
Yeah. Not only that, but he's also incredibly strong because I heard he was a power lifter. And he's fast too. I've never
Yeah,
seen a big guy run as fast as him. He reminds me of Myles Garrett with his speed a little bit. Like I've seen this dude run down I think it was a running back in college. We're talking about a dude who's well over 300 pounds, and he's out here running down guys in the backfield and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
wow, wow. Then you put him next to Sheldon. Okay, that's good.
Oh,
I like that.
definitely. I definitely like that the Browns have been focused on, far as defense, stopping the run, which we all know was a huge problem last year, especially
Oh
when
yeah.
Myles Garrett went out.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I definitely like that Barry's addressing to trying to stop the run, and also BJ Goodrich. I hope I said his last name right, from Green Bay. That's a pretty
Yeah,
solid
Goodson.
sign.
Yeah, it's
Excuse me.
BJ Goodson.
Thank thank you. Yeah, I did mispronounce his last name. I looked at his stats when the Browns signed him. He actually had some pretty nice stats for Green Bay last year. He was pretty decent for them.
He wasn't too bad when he actually played. He
Yeah,
didn't play a whole lot. He only had like 300 snaps compared to the guy that, I guess you could compare him to here, which would be Schobert, who had well over 1,000. So,
right.
yeah. But I mean, when he was in New York, he was fantastic. He
Yeah,
might be one of the most underrated signings that we've made so far.
true. Definitely true. Excuse me. But also, I want to go back to Conklin for a second. What else do you think he's going to bring to the Browns? Besides
Well,
protection for Baker and the run. And
maybe a little bit of like veteran leadership on that offensive
okay,
line.
that's true.
Perhaps solidify the O line in general. I mean, all we really got to do now is just fix the left side of the line, a tackle position. So,
Right. So say if it doesn't get addressed here in free agency, if you were Andrew Berry with that 10th pick, 9 times out of 10, you probably gonna go left tackle. Who do you think? Who would you go with?
well, my preference would be probably Andrew Thomas if he's there. If not, I'm probably going Wirfs. And if he's not there, which I don't think he will be, honestly, I would not mind Jedrick Wills.
Okay.
And I guess, in even some cases, Mekai Becton. But I've heard that the Giants like him, so we'll see who the Giants take.
Yeah. Also, there's been rumors that they're gonna pick Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
They also definitely got to get into Carl Joseph, who also has a one from the Browns that's take him away from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, no, well, probably one of my favorite signings.
Yeah,
I mean, compared to last week, our safety position looks so much better. I mean, you got, of course, Red Wine, and then you got the
definitely.
two veterans that we just brought in, Sendejo, love that last name, Sendejo, and then, of course, you got Carl Joseph.
Yeah, from the Vikings.
And then something tells me we're probably going to draft a safety.
Probably. And Sendeo, he was pretty decent last year for the Vikings. Also, that Kevin Stefanski connection from Minnesota. And he
Mm-hmm.
definitely is
And
going to bring
speaking
veteran
of the
presence to the
Stefanski
team.
connection, I've heard rumblings that we are, I guess, talking to the agent of Everson Griffin. That's all I know at the
Yeah.
moment. There's been discussions, haven't really heard anything about it. And then, unfortunately, looks like the Nickel Roby Coleman dream of mine is pretty much dead. Which I mean, I knew that was dead when we signed Kevin Johnson, so I'm not really mad about that.
Yeah, but definitely let's get into Everson Griffin. Man, I would love for the Browns to get him. I've always been a fan of his game. I think he's definitely an unsung defensive end.
Of course, I don't know if you watched. I think I talked about it in one of my videos before, but there was a report that came out. Maybe it was. I think it was in my live stream when I talked about this. There was a report that came out after we traded Zeitler for Vernon that apparently the Vikings were willing to deal Griffin for Zeitler.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did read that story last year. That
Like it came
Vikings
out like
wanted
a week or so after
Griffin.
the trade, and I'm like, huh? You mean we could have gotten freaking Everson Griffin? I would have taken that all day. But I'm guessing the Vikings probably called Dorsey like maybe a day or so, whatever, after, an hour after, and I could just see it now. Like they call up Dorsey, they say, "Hey, yo, Dorsey, is Zeitler still available?" And Dorsey like, "Nobody, boy, he's going to New York." And they're like, "Oh man, we could have sent you Griffin." And I was like, "Well, it's too late now, it's too late, guys. Sorry, should have called earlier."
I should have called early in the morning.
I
But
could just
man,
picture something like
if
that happening.
yeah, but hey, sometimes it's better late than never. But if the Browns could get Everson Griffin, oh man, he definitely brings a lot of he. I think he'll definitely bring a lot of leadership to the D line because him and Anthony Harris, I'd say they were the anchors of that Vikings defense last year, especially in that NFC wildcard game against New Orleans. They got mad pressure on Drew Brees, and they also combined for about a good what? Well, yeah, 4 sacks on Breeze in that game.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of
So
Anthony Harris, I know a lot of Browns fans are like, "Oh my God, what's going on with Harris? Are we going to trade for Harris?" And much like our my unfortunate dream with Roby Coleman, it looks like that trade is on life support. But I mean, yeah,
yeah,
if he doesn't get extended, we could always, go after him next year when he hits free agency. If he
right,
doesn't get extended,
right. Because I definitely think that Minnesota wants to get rid of Harris. They don't want to pay him that contract, even the franchise tag that they gave him recently.
mm-hmm.
So who knows? Maybe he might be available next year in a signing trade, or he might be a free agent.
And you never know. And then
But
nothing's going on with Trent Williams, which I didn't expect anything to with what the Redskins are asking. So
yeah,
who knows if he'll get traded? And I'm interested to see what happens if nobody continues to offer anything. Are the Redskins going to maybe lower their asking price to maybe a fourth, and then the Browns go in and pounce and trade for him, or are they just going to be stingy like they've always been, and they just continue to ask for something that no one's going to give them? And I
right,
wonder how long Trent Williams is gonna, let that happen before he just says, you know what, guys, no one's offering anything, and if you're not gonna freaking lower your asking price, how about you just cut me and then I can go find someplace to go on my own.
definitely, definitely. I didn't want to trade for Williams because the the how can I say it? The risk was too high, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to identify the risk with signing a tackle who hasn't played in a year and he's 30 plus years old.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Excuse me. Also, I hope they bring back Rashard Higgins. I definitely like Higgins, because he was a great weapon for Baker, and also once he came back from injury last year, it's like Freddie Kitchens that just put him in the doghouse for no reason.
Yeah, it was sad, because I mean, Higgins is a fan favorite around here, with the whole the whole touchdown celebration thing that he has going on with the red carpet thing, and it just seems like for some reason Freddie just did not want to use him, and it didn't help that he got hurt.
Right?
It's almost like I'd be streaming the games and I'd be looking for a number 81, and for the life of me, I could just never see him on the field. I'd see him on the sidelines with his jersey on, helmet off, but that's it. I would never see him on the field.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. I definitely think once he came back, I think he definitely could have helped the offense more.
Oh yeah.
And also, I definitely think he could do good in this Kevin Stefanski offense.
Mm-hmm. Now, from what I'm hearing, there are a couple teams that are, I guess, looking at him, but I think he actually tweeted something out saying like, this free agency is like much like the draft for him. Nothing's really going on. And I think in the
Right?
end, I think he does come back here for a couple years, and maybe he, balls out with this offense, which I think he will, because this offense looks pretty good from what I'm hearing.
Definitely. Okay, we got to get into Joe Schober. A lot of people, a lot of Browns fans were salty and upset that the Browns did not bring Joe Schober back. You know, at first it looks like he was going to go to the Bengals or the Bungles, as you say. But then he ended up, finally getting the deal that he wanted with Jacksonville, which was 53 million. Now, that's about that's 10 million a year. Do you think would you have brought Joe Schober back for that kind of money?
Honestly, probably not. That's a little rich for somebody. I mean, he's a pretty good linebacker, but I mean, we got freaking BJ Goodson, who is actually, I mean, I think he's ranked higher on PFF. Now, of course, a lot of people don't believe in PFF stats, but according to PFF, BJ Goodson's ranked higher than Schobert.
Yeah,
Not to mention,
I did
Schobert
hear
did
about
miss a
that.
lot of tackles. I
True.
mean, the only linebacker I would pay that kind of money is a guy maybe like a Ray Lewis type, and I don't think Schobert's a Ray Lewis type.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
he's very good. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't pay him 10 million. I'd probably stick around like 8 or 7 million.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that's why I think that Andrew Berry was probably offering anywhere between 6 to 8 million per year, and Schobert and his agent didn't want to take that deal, but he finally got what he wanted in Jacksonville. So I'm happy for him. Wish him the best. Kind of wish he would have stayed, but hey, he thought that was best for him and his family. So gonna miss
I
him,
mean,
but
yeah, I wish him the best of luck in Jacksonville, and of course, accepting when we play them. And honestly, I hope when we play the Jaguars this season, hopefully it's not in London because I freaking hate it. But hopefully, we go when he goes to tackle Chubb, Chubb stiff arms him into the ground, and or he whiffs, and we all get to go. See, that's why we didn't bring him back because he freaking missed tackles all the time. But
yeah,
knowing us, the way things go with us, he's going to face us and he's going to have the game of his life. And then all the Schobert fan club's going to come out and be like, see, you should have signed him. See, you should have freaking gave him that $10 million he was asking for.
Right. But I mean, Jacksonville, it's like they're having a fire sale anyway. I mean, it was started last year with them trading Jalen Ramsey to the Rams. Then they trade Calais Campbell to the Ravens.
I mean, I don't know. That confused me. It's like you sell off all those pieces, then you turn around and freaking bring in Joe Schobert. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're tanking low key, but then you bring in a guy like Joe Schobert. Okay. And then, of
Yeah.
course, they have the guy who I call the dollar store Baker Mayfield at quarterback, and Gardner Minshew.
King AB, what's up, man? How you doing? Even though you're a Steelers fan. But King AB's all right though. He still thinks that Odell's gonna get traded to the Steelers by some miracle.
Everyone thinks that he ain't getting traded.
Yeah,
Honestly, every day I see a rumor like that, I just face palm even harder because it's like it's not going to happen unless that team is willing to give us a crap ton of stuff, which I know they probably
true.
won't.
Yeah, matter of fact, most recently, Bart Scott came out and said on his podcast that OBJ is on the trading block, and also, a lot of a 49ers blogger, excuse me, came out and said that they're interested in that OBJ is interested in coming to the 49ers.
Yeah, I heard all about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, matter of fact, I just got into a little argument with a couple on Twitter before I came on here, saying that all it's gonna take is about a first round pick to get Odell. I said no. 49ers is gonna have to come with more than just that. Throw in at least a third rounder and a player like, say, Goodwin, then okay.
Yeah, I think that would be maybe that and a little bit more. I would just keep trying to, ask for more and see if they do it.
Yeah.
Or I'd just straight up say, oh, we're not trading Odell. Lose the number. Stop calling me. You're freaking annoying. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah, but that's more of your ESPN's Fox Sports One drumming up the whole, Odell trade rumors, especially ESPN.
Well, yeah, there's
You
nothing
know,
going on. So they need something to talk about. So, hey, let's talk about Odell trade rumors. It reminds me of Kevin Love. Every freaking year, or now, of course, with Odell, it's much more frequent every week. But you always see about trade rumors with those two. And now you got Francisco Lindor trade rumors. Literally, all three of
yeah,
our teams have a guy who's a subject of trade rumors.
definitely.
Like, can
Or
it
free
just stop?
agency rumors.
And yet, of course, he had
You
the
know,
classic Anthony Harris for Jarvis Landry trade rumor that came out and freaking made me just want to bash my freaking computer into a wall.
yeah, I was like, yeah. After reading that, I said, whoever proved that story needs to be slapped upside the head. Like if I was the editor of that blog or that media outlet, I would just slap them upside the head and say, delete that, please.
Like sometimes I really wonder what these beat writers think when they're about to post a story. Like, I wonder what Grossi thinks when he's about to post something stupid. I could just see him sitting there at his desk with that sinister little smirk on his face, like I'm gonna post this and see what Browns fans think. It's like they're
Man.
gonna. If I was like over his shoulder, I'd be like, Browns fans are gonna freaking toast you, right? He's like, really? It's like, yeah, like they're gonna roast you. Everyone already hates you, so I mean, it doesn't really matter with you because yeah, they all want you to retire. But yeah, I mean, the dude did say he was gonna retire if we took Baker, and dude is still going strong. Yeah, never retired.
Unfortunately,
Yep.
he is still going strong. I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised, man. I'm surprised that ESPN Cleveland did not fire him after the whole Baker comment.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but then again, that we're talking about ESPN, so yeah, they'll give him as many chances as ever.
Definitely,
Freaking calling
definitely,
Baker Mayfield
definitely.
freaking midget. Are you kidding me? It's like, how would you
Yeah,
like it if someone called you a grumpy old man, Grossy, huh? Would you like
yeah.
that? I'm
I
sure he
never really
wouldn't like
cared
that.
for Tony. I never been a fan of Tony Grossi.
No
Never.
one has.
It's like he seems. It seems like he comes off pretty smug to me.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, he
man,
remind. I mean, I could just imagine being like Odell or like especially Odell. Like you're new here, and you see this freaking weird old man just asking the stupidest questions ever. I mean, I know the media in New York. They're very like harsh. They really rip on you if you do something. But this guy,
oh
oh my
yeah.
god, bro, grossy. Like, really? I remember when we introduced Greg Williams as our DC, and this dude freaking, I think it was Grossy or Mary Kay or whoever, asked him about Bountygate. And this dude literally looked at him and said, Are you Grossy? He was like, Yeah, I heard a lot about you. And then, of course, you have the whole Baker thing with them, the whole Jesus Tony thing. It's like,
uh,
oh my God, bro, if I was a player, I would want to smack this guy in the face. Oh, God.
that's not
Like,
good.
I give the players credit. I mean, they got to deal with the crap that our beat writers say. I mean, I've heard it all over Twitter, from Browns fans saying we have arguably the worst beat writers in the NFL. Now, of course, you got some
I
really good
agree.
ones. Jake Trotter, he's good. There's some really good ones, but there's
Daryl
also some
Ryder.
really, really bad ones. Oh my God. Every time, like on ESPN Cleveland's Twitter account, every day or so, they post like a poll, and it's always the stupidest thing ever.
Oh yeah.
It's
Those
like,
programs
do
just
you think
corny.
Odell Beckham going to get traded? Yes or no? And I'm like, who's the freaking dunce who decided to post that? Like, who
Yeah,
thought it was a good idea to post that? Or like, what would you do if
they
Baker
be
Mayfield was traded?
yeah.
Oh my
They need to
God.
hire us to work for their social media department. We can do a better job than who they got right now.
Yeah.
But
Like,
Daryl Ryder's good. I like Daryl Ryder.
yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad.
The only
Probably
thing,
the worst ones out there are Mary Kay and Grossy. The rest are not bad, and some of them are really good.
yeah, yeah, but at least I can tolerate Mary Kay. If she would ask better questions and write better articles, she would be okay. She would be okay.
Mary Kay is fantastic in the off season, but then when the season starts and you have all the kind of the drama and stuff starts, that's when she gets kind of intolerable. But during the off season, she's fantastic. Grossy, he's
Yeah.
horrible every day, 24/7, 365. Like with Mary Kay, it's like, okay, she talks about free agency. It's like, okay, that's informative. I'll give her points for that. Grossy just out here just
Yeah.
being dumb. It's like, forget you. Screw you. And not to mention, he can criticize the team, but yet when he gets criticized a little bit, block, block,
Oh, of
block,
course.
block.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people
And then
on
he
Twitter
wonders why no one,
that
likes him because he blocks everybody.
yeah, yeah. Grossy's one of those dudes who can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Yeah. Honestly, I just wish he'd retire already.
Or go somewhere else. But who would want him?
Nobody. Not
but
even a high school team would take him to be like a staff writer or whatever.
that's cold.
Nobody. I don't even think a pee-wee team or like a youth league would take him to be like a writer or whatever. Nobody would take him in. Not even a prison football league, I'm pretty sure. Not even like
Oh
the
man,
defunct freaking USFL or the AFL or an indoor league. No one would take him in. I'm
not
sure
even the
someone would at
XFL.
some point, but it'd probably be like some minuscule little football league that nobody's heard of that only has like 5 teams, and it involves freaking Division 7 players, and you play in the middle of a cornfield out in the Kansas or something. Who knows?
Right, definitely. But man, well, I want to go back to the whole OBJ trade, whole trade circus for a minute. It seems like the national media, ever since he and Landry said, "Come and get me" to opposing players last year, it seems like they just ran with that quote.
Yeah, they interpreted it as I want out, but instead, I'm pretty sure they were saying like, come try and stop me.
Right?
But that's just the way the media is. That's just the way that they take things. They take it and they run with it, and they just do their own thing with it. They don't get the facts.
Oh, of course, it's not about the facts anymore with a lot of national media. It's all about either clicks or clicks, ratings, retweets, likes, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
and also the national media did not like the fact that Odell was traded here to Cleveland from the get-go last year.
No, no, we were. They wanted him to go to L.A. or Texas or somewhere with a big market. They didn't want him to come to little old Cleveland.
Or the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots.
As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, people were linking him to being traded to the Patriots before Tom Brady left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard about that.
And now it's the 49 and now it's the 49ers.
Yep.
And 49er fans, they think they're getting everybody.
No,
They
I mean that's not necessarily the Niners because that's Eagles and Jets fans. I know a couple of Jets fans who literally want everybody, and then of course you got freaking Eagles fans, and that's just the way that they are.
Oh yeah, the Jets also. Oh yeah, the Jets definitely felt that they were going to get OBJ.
The Jets wanted every offensive lineman out there. The Eagles,
True,
they just want everybody.
right? So do the Cowboys.
Yep.
Okay, King AB said, Odell, go waste his prime years playing for a team like the Browns. He deserves better. Like where King AB. Okay, he also said he wants the Steelers to move on for Big Ben. Yeah, King AB is definitely one of my big subscribers that comes in here all the time. He's definitely felt that Odell should be traded to the Steelers, but it ain't gonna happen, King
Odell
AB.
never getting traded anywhere, let alone the Steelers. Like, why would we give the Steelers Odell Beckham Jr.? Like, if we're gonna do that, you got to give us T.J. Watt
Right?
and Bud Dupree and like every one of your good players. Micah Fitzpatrick, yeah. Give us T.J. Watt, like freaking Bud Dupree, Minka Fitzpatrick, Juju Smith-Schuster,
And a first round pick.
all of your cap space, and yeah, just keep like all that other crap from there too.
All right, somebody else came into the live stream. I've been trying to get him on here for a minute. Got Quincy Carrier, the
How's
other
it going?
QC. What's up,
Oh,
man?
we got
Thanks
two
for
QCs
joining
in
us.
here. That's
What's up, man? How you guys doing today?
I
doing
call you the other
absolutely
QC.
fantastic.
I'm older than you. But man, good to have you on, man. Me and Crazy Dog here. We just talking about these Browns free agency moves. So, what do you think about the move so far, Quincy?
I think they are. I think they're pretty good. I like the positions that they have put money into. More importantly, I like the limited number of years that they have chosen to give this money to. With the 3-year contracts, in the 1 year kind of prove it deals that they have done over the last few contracts they have had. It just shows an awareness that you're going to have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb all up. I think even Odell and Jarvis are technically due up at that same time period, along with, of course, who's going to demand the most money, Myles Garrett or Baker Mayfield, if they pan out to play the way they do. So, having that awareness, but being able to upgrade the team in the short term is very good. I like the signing of Jack Conklin. It gives you some freedom at 10 there in the draft, because if you're at like maybe the 5th best tackle in the first round, maybe you don't want to take that with the number 10 pick. You can trade back and flip Jack Conklin over to left tackle. You have a lot of flexibility now based on what they did in free agency, and I think they put themselves in a good position.
I definitely agree with that. But I was listening to an interview with the former Patriots executive, I want to say about a day or two ago, saying that after Nick Chubb's rookie deal is up, that they wouldn't re-sign him. I think that's pretty asinine. In my opinion, you at least give him a nice, say, maybe 2 or 3 year deal. You don't just let him walk out right after his rookie deal.
Yeah, and it's and it's like I get people's idea of thinking, right? Oh, well, it's a running back. You don't want to re-sign a running back. You don't want to offer too much money to a running back. But sometimes a running back is worth a little bit of money, especially when he's going to have split carries with Kareem Hunt for the next year, maybe even 2. There's not going to be a ton of wear and tear on him. And if he's the best running back, or at least one of the top 3 running backs in the NFL, then you have to consider giving him money. The big question and the thing that's going to be hard for the Browns is who is going to be the odd man out on that offense when everybody's due up. I mean, again, 3 years, you're going to have Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, and Nick Chubb all up for contracts at that point. And if this offense can produce like it looks like it can on paper, they're all going to get great money. I mean, just imagine if Odell has the season that he is projected to have for the next 2 years, he is going to be worth a ton of money.
Definitely.
And then Baker Mayfield, if those guys are obviously looking good, then Baker Mayfield's clearly looking good, and that means look at what quarterbacks are getting paid nowadays. That's going to be the question. Is Nick Chubb going to be the odd man out? Do they feel like his value above replacement is not so extreme that it's worth offering him $15 million versus a guy like Odell Beckham? That could be a huge question. But, I think the ideal of Nick Chubb getting premier money, that's not a ridiculous ideal at all.
Mm-mm.
No, definitely not. Not at all.
Also, especially if he's like a top 3 running back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah, I did not get that take from that dude. Like, wait a minute. Especially Chubb is young and in his prime. You just going to let him go? No. I don't think Barry would do something like that.
Then you got that assumption that we're going to get rid of Njoku just because we brought in Hooper.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen either. Unless Njoku demands a trade.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Njoku's gone just because of Hooper, but I think, they're more flexible at that position now. If they do want to get somebody who's more of a blocking tight end, they can. If they want to just stick with Njoku and Hooper and have that kind of dynamic passing attack, they can. And if somebody comes over and offers something crazy like a 2nd-round pick for him, I definitely think about taking it. You have options.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The Hooper signing gave them flexibility. Also, I want your take on Jack Conklin, because I thought he was gonna go back to the Titans or go somewhere else.
Yeah, with Conklin, I thought that getting him wouldn't be realistic just because I thought he was going to be somebody who was going to want maybe 5 or 6 years on a deal and get top money.
Right.
Because that's probably what he could have gotten in this market, but he chose to do something against the grain. He got a shorter term deal, so he can become a free agent when he's 28. And that works out well with the Browns. The Browns are willing to give that money up to 3 years. Because they can give that money up to 3 years. They have no reason not to give that money up to 3 years. So, the fact that they were able to get him and get him under the right contract that would make sense for the future of this team, um, that's very good for the Browns, I think.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Most definitely. But I definitely like how they're addressing the secondary by getting people like Kevin Johnson, BJ, BJ, also Carl Joseph, and also I like Andrew Billings. I think this is the most underrated signing that the Browns had so far in this free agency. Because not only he's big, but he's fast also.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Andrew Billings. My guy Ace Boogie, who does a lot of the Bengals talk here on YouTube, he told me, he messaged me the first thing when they signed him. Hey, Andrew Billings is a good signing. I think he is going to add to some consistency there because while I like Larry Ogunjobi's potential as a pass rushing defensive tackle, I think it's been painfully obvious the last 2 years that he's just not a 3-down defensive tackle like the Browns might have wanted him to be, because he struggles tremendously on rundowns. I mean, you look at every big run the Browns have given up, 65 is there getting pushed past 10 yards by some
Right.
offensive guard. He's just not good at that spot in those situations. So I think bringing in Billings, the guy who's going to be able to split some possessions with him and be able to kind of stay on the field on those second and first down obvious run situations, but also somebody who's not a liability if you have to rush the passer. So you have that flexibility there with Andrew Billings, and I keep saying flexibility when I talk about what the Browns did this free agency, but that's the key. That's the biggest takeaway, and I think that's the direction the Browns were looking for. They were looking for some flexibility in order to just be able to bring in the best players possible.
And the
Right.
best thing is that with these defensive signings, we don't got to worry about rookies starting immediately. Like they can come in and they can learn and pretty much adapt. We don't got to worry about we have flexibility coming into the draft.
Yeah, we have some
That's good.
flexibility, and
Yeah.
we have an ability to have just people just have good competition during training camp too. So these young guys, once they come in, they can get better, and having those veterans around is going to be really helpful for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Also, Quincy, me and crazy dog, all the crazy OBJ rumors before you came on. But now first it was the Patriots before Tom Brady left. Now, a beat writer out of San Fran, well, no, a blogger out of San Fran who writes for the 49ers saying that now the 49ers are interested in OBJ and he's on the trade block.
Everybody's interested in OBJ. He's OBJ. So when people look, the thing is with OBJ is that everybody's gonna be interested in him. And since the Browns have this reputation nationwide, everybody thinks they can just take him away from the Browns. So yeah, everybody thinks he's available. Everybody thinks the Browns are gonna be dumb enough to trade him. Everybody thinks this. But in reality, the Browns are having OBJ be the face of their New Jersey campaign. The Browns have made a very, very public commitment to keeping OBJ over the last few months. It's
Right.
just a fun thing to talk about. It's something that if you're a blogger, no disrespect to people who do their craft on the internet. I do my craft on the internet. I'm no different than a blogger, but you have to understand sometimes that, putting OBJ's name in the headline, in your article is going to be able to draw some clicks that maybe if we're talking about something more realistic, like bringing in Stephon Diggs, just wouldn't. you know, and you know we all know the names that have actual credibility that if they bring up something, we know it's serious. And the fact is, you know, I ain't hear Adam Schefter say anything about OBJ yet.
So you don't see Rappaport or Schefter or Pelissero or any of those guys talking about it. It's always these like guys that you've never heard of. And then you look on their channel and they only have like barely 100 followers. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah, everybody's got rumors, and you know, it's you just listen to keywords like, oh, so the 49ers are interested in OBJ. Well, yeah, they just lost Emmanuel Sanders, and Deebo Samuels is their best wide receiver right now. I'd be interested in OBJ too if I were the 49ers. That don't mean you're gonna get him. I'm interested in prime Tom Brady from 2007 and Randy Moss. I mean, I'm going to time travel and get him.
Yeah, OBJ is kind of like the LeBron of the NFL. He kind of going through the similar scenario again. We went through this with LeBron. Now we're going through this with OBJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just he's a popular player. He's a really talented player. You know, right now nobody's got anything to talk about, so why not? Why not speculate about OBJ? You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's hard out there for everybody.
True. Wait a minute. This dude, Psycho Goat Ferguson, says, who wants to be the face of the Browns? Man, who's your team, dude? But anyway.
Yeah, well, you know, OBJ. Yeah, but
yep, they think Cleveland doesn't deserve nothing nice.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Like me and the other, you know, talking and grubbing, we're talking about a few minutes ago. Literally, all three of our teams have somebody who's the subject of trade talks. We have Odell Beckham with the Browns. We have Lindor with the Indians, and of course Kevin Love with the Cavs.
Right.
It's like which one's more likely to get traded?
Yeah, and it's funny with Kevin Love. Everybody wants us to trade him. The trade deadline's passed like 3 months ago. You know?
That dude's been in trade rumors since he got here.
Yeah, it's
like the year after he got here, trade rumors started swirling, and he's still here.
Yeah, it's they.
Psycho Goat's a Patriots fan. that's cute.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh, figure.
He ain't gonna have a lot to cheer about for a little while.
Yeah, definitely.
People forget before Brady got to the Patriots were not that much different than the Browns as a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that.
Not at all.
Like they were very close to possibly moving.
No, they were a joke. They were just less of a joke than the Jets. You know, they were like the Bengals. They were pretty much the Bengals of that division. You know,
right.
Until Bill Parcells got there in the early 90s. And then they started up in their game. And then Bill Belichick took it to a whole nother level. Yeah. That's just some history for you, for any of the young guns in the audience. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Most definitely. Also, we gotta talk about Everson Griffin, as you know, he definitely announced that he wasn't going back to the Vikings, and the Browns are one of the teams that are definitely interested. And man, if the Browns could get Everson Griffin, that would definitely be the move. If the Browns can land Everson Griffin, how does it bolster the defense?
I think gives you a veteran pass rusher there. You know, I just want to see them fill that need. I don't necessarily think they need to get Everson Griffin. I don't know. I think Everson Griffin had a great year, like 2 years ago, but he's had some issues in the last year. I think he didn't play much because he had some mental health issues going on with himself.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of state he's in. You know, another guy you could bring over with maybe with the Browns going to a more nostalgic uniform, maybe Clay Matthews Jr. makes a lot of sense there to fill that second pass rusher role. I just think you need to get somebody. Just get somebody in there that can, at $7 million, give you 8 sacks. If you can get 8 sacks out of the opposite of Myles Garrett, this defense is going to be not world burning. It's not going to burn the world down, but it's going to be good enough, to win some games if the offense can produce like we're investing in the offense to produce.
Right.
Yeah, looking at Griffin's stats, there was a stretch from 2015 until 2017 where he made the Pro Bowl 3 straight years. And he's played in 147 games and only started 88. And in his career, he has 74 and a half sacks, including 13 in 2017.
13 in 2017. That's pretty
good.
Yeah,
and he had 8 sacks this past season. And I believe he was a Pro Bowler too. So, yeah.
Yeah, but if I think he could definitely provide dividends if he's in the right mental state.
Yeah, he can provide, and he's just also older. I don't know with Andrew Berry because he seemed to follow that guideline of getting your free agents under 27 off their first team. If you look at most of the signings that they did in the first day of free agency, all 25, 26-year-olds coming to their first free agent contract.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's about I don't know.
Yeah.
What'd you say, my man? It kind of broke up there.
What you say, Crazy Dog?
I said aside from Keenum, Johnson, and Sendejo, everyone is around that 25, 27 range.
Yep.
Right.
It's just, I'm interested to see. I think the $6 million a year they gave Case Keenum's kind of a barometer on what they would offer. A starting veteran pass rusher, so maybe $8 to $9 million. There, it depends on what their plan is with Olivier Vernon. If they're going to cut him and get that $15 million off of him, they already got rid of Kirksey and that cap number. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do there too.
And some Browns fans have even said cut Vernon and transfer that money towards maybe looking at Clowney.
Yeah.
Or maybe Clowney's a little too deep for us. So.
Yeah, but I think Clowney's going to want a long-term deal.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to rule him out with, because realistically, you're not going to get away with giving Clowney $15 million. You're probably going to have to give him like 17, 18. And then Myles Garrett, when he comes up, like, I don't know what the max is, but he's going to get it wherever he wants to sign. So that's what, 20, 21 million. And then you're at a point where you're at like what a 50+ million cap number for your defensive line, and then you got to pay a quarterback in Odell and Jarvis. So like as much as I would love to have Clowney there, he's my dream free agent pick. I said it in a video I did on YouTube a couple of days ago. He's my dream free agent pick. If the Browns could get one of them, I would love for it to be Clowney. I just don't think the years and the money are going to line up with the Browns' priorities right now.
Yeah, Clowney somehow lowers his number, but yeah, I think he's a pipe dream. That's one
of the main reasons why I don't mention Clowney, because of that, the money and the years that he would want.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good
hard aspect.
Seattle.
Yeah, man, I think he's probably going to end up staying in Seattle. He might get a lot less money than he thought he was going to get. He just doesn't put up gaudy numbers, but he's so good as a run defender. It's ridiculous. But
definitely, most definitely. Excuse me. Now, also, Quincy, lost my train of thought for a second. What do you think about, well, we also didn't talk about the other guy, JoJo Natson.
Oh, the punt returner from LA.
I definitely like that move, and definitely, saw some of his highlights with the Rams. He's a pretty nice returner.
Yeah, and it keeps you from having to put Jarvis and Odell back there, and that was a nightmare all last year. And and even when it's not them, it was I forget the third string running back's name.
There was Hilliard too.
Yeah, Dante.
And even I think we might have even seen Dearness Johnson back there too.
Yeah, you saw a mismatch of guys, so maybe it's because it's the same special teams coordinator from last year. Just trying to find a solution there, a guy you could bring into camp that's going to be a veteran that can compete and hold it down and maybe even contend for a spot on the wide receiver rotation, which I think is going to be very small this year with the 12 personnel the Browns are going to be rolling out most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And also the move that Barry has made on the offensive line, you can tell, Kevin Stefanski wants to be more, wants to focus on the run more. That's why, there's been moves like Conklin and also Andy Yokovich from the Broncos, the fullback, and even Austin Hooper.
Yeah, it's just a kind of that's what I liked about it. The money being committed to a certain play style. I mean, what was the biggest gripe last year? No checkdowns, no effective use of tight ends. When did the Browns
play action
win their biggest games? It's games where Ricky Seals-Jones or Demetrius Harris of all people, or even Pharaoh Brown were able to get the ball. Those were the tight ends. They weren't even good tight ends. They just played the position. That's when the Browns were able to do their most damage last year. When they beat Baltimore, Ricky Seals-Jones was a huge part of that because
don't forget about Stephen Carlson too.
Yeah, Stephen Carlson,
another tight end,
baby Gronk against Pittsburgh. It's when you can. Baker Mayfield is a guy who's going to be able to make effective use of his tight ends. When he was at Oklahoma, him and Mark Andrews were able to make magic. And some guys are just better quarterbacks in the seams. You even see this with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, even in the Pro Bowl, is way better hitting his tight ends than he is at hitting his receivers. And with Baker Mayfield, I think a lot of that's more holds true. I think he's just more comfortable on the field when he has those kind of safety blankets in there.
Oh yeah,
and also you can't forget Baker definitely had a nice, definitely targeted David Njoku a lot his rookie year as well.
Yeah, he did. He did use David Njoku up the seam effectively, and he also used Rashard Higgins in that same role. There, I would like to see next year the Browns try to use Jarvis in more ways similar to how they use kind of not like in the terms of touches, because he will obviously get more touches than a guy like Rashard Higgins, but use Jarvis in those kind of similar slot roles where he's kind of a mid to short field option, and he can use the ball. He can use a lot of run at the catch opportunities for himself. I think that's where Jarvis shines at his best, is when he's in those kind of situations. And I think you saw a lot of that start to come on at the end of last season.
Right. Most definitely. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you think this Kevin Stefanski offense will benefit your Baker Mayfield, your OBJ?
I think for Baker, it's going to put him in more comfortable situations, more play action, more 3 and 5 step drops instead of the 7 step drops that he was doing in the Freddie Kitchens offense. Also, it's going to be able to give him more support when it comes to protections. You're going to be able to have an extra running back in. You're going to have a full back end that you can check out. You're going to have, 2 tight ends out there that can help with protection schemes also. So, a lot of what happened last year was just poor protection schemes, where Baker was pretty much hung out to dry before he can make any decisions. It's just, you look at Baker when he plays his best, it's 12 personnel, heavy play action. That's where Baker plays his best football. Kind of similar to with Russell Wilson and how he plays his best football in those kind of 12 personnel sets. So I just think that it's going to be a more familiar, more Shanahan, Kubiak-esque offense that I think Baker Mayfield will thrive under. I mean, the last time we had Kyle Shanahan here, he made a quarterback who wore number 6 look pretty damn good.
Right.
So, if we run kind of that similar offense, And I think this 6 is better than the last 6. I think you're going to have a pretty good time there.
Oh, yeah, this 6 is way better than that 6. That's for sure.
Definitely.
If we had this 6 with that team,
yeah,
sort of even more fun.
With that offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I still
those weapons weren't the greatest, but the offensive line was really good, though.
Yeah, I still get mad that they got rid of Alex Mack and Mitchell Schwartz and Joe Thomas. That was my dude. Why he couldn't play at least a couple more years?
Well, Mack wanted out, and Schwartz, I guess we rescinded an offer to him.
Yeah.
And then of course, I went to Joe Thomas's last game. I saw him get hurt on the field. That was bittersweet. I thought he was going to come back, and of course, he never did.
Man, that was just heartbreaking to see Joe Thomas go out like that.
Yeah. On that note, I think I'm gonna have to head out here in a few seconds. But just any last questions you have for me? Talk QC and Crazy Dog.
Nah, I'm good.
Well, yeah, I got one more for you.
All right, man. Shoot.
Well, okay. This is a non-Browns question. Psycho Goat brought this up. What the hell was Bill O'Brien thinking trading DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson in the second rounder?
All right. I think my answer to this is there's been a lot of argument within the Browns community of football guy versus analytics, right? This whole argument, football guy versus analytics. And a lot of the times when you talk, I understand people who come from both sides of that camp, but a lot of times when you talk to people in the football guy camp, they don't admit that there's any faults in that line of thinking and what comes from that. And they ignore that ego is one of those faults. John Dorsey had the ego that Freddie Kitchens was going to be a good head coach in the NFL. Bill O'Brien, his ego says, I don't like Hopkins. He thinks he's too good. He thinks we can't win without him. I'll show him by trading our best player to Arizona for an injury-prone running back in a second-round pick. And that's the downside of football guys. They get in their feelings and they make stupid decisions like this. So to answer the question of what the hell was Bill O'Brien thinking or smoking, absolutely nothing. He wasn't thinking at all. He does not know what he was thinking. He just was mad and wanted to do something. And we all know how this is. I'm pretty sure everybody listening has had a job. And you know what it's like when you got a boss that just wants to get you out the paint. He just wants to get you out of there because you disrespected him at a meeting or you didn't like how he said something, you stepped to him. He want to get you out the paint. And he'll do anything to get you out the paint. He don't care if he got somebody to cover your shift or not. He will try to get you out the paint even when it hurts the store because that's what pride do to you. That's a downside of football guys. So anybody who asks me or tells me, Quincy, you got to get football guys because this is football and there's no downside to a football guy, Bill O'Brien is the number one example I'll give them because this is what happens when football guys go too hard.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you for having me on, QC. Nice to meet you, Crazy Dog. You guys can
here.
Thanks, Quincy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Have some fun. But I'll check you guys later.
All right, man. Thanks.
No problem, man.
All right. All right. Thanks, Quincy Carrier, for coming on. Yeah, I still cannot. If Bill O'Brien worked for the Browns fans would be calling every radio station in Cleveland or in Ohio want Bill O'Brien out of Cleveland.
I am pretty sure if Bill O'Brien was in Cleveland, the Haslams would have fired him already.
Yes.
Because we all know how trooper happy they are.
Definitely.
I was in a Steeler fans live stream just talking it up with him a few days ago. And of course, he was talking about how the Rooneys never fire anybody. And I'm like, yeah. And then, the Rooneys never fire anybody. Well, the Haslams, they fire people too quickly sometimes. They have the itchiest trigger finger I've ever seen.
Definitely.
Like you have a max of 2 or 3 years to get it right. Otherwise, you're gone. Whereas with the Steelers,
Right.
with Rooney, you could mess up for a decade and you'll still be there because they don't fire you. They wait until your contract runs out.
Well, shoot, 2 out of 3 of the people they hired are Hall of Famers. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think now Mike Tomlin, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I think he might be a fringe Hall of Famer. But Bill Cowher's about to go in this year. No, wait a minute. Yeah, this year, my mistake. And also, the late Chuck Noll, he's already in.
Yep.
So, but I think that maybe maybe the Hasels might give a little more patience to the Stefanski. King AB's back in here once again. No, King AB. OBJ is not coming to the Steelers. I'm just messing with you. And Psycho Goat Ferguson said Bill O'Brien needs to get slapped for making these dumb moves every season. I agree. Bill O'Brien, the GM, definitely Bill O'Brien, the GM, definitely needs to get beat down by Bill O'Brien, the coach. And King AB says, fire Mike Tomlin. Wow. Unbelievable.
But yeah, I got to get on out of here in a minute. So,
all right,
yeah,
Crazy
this
Dog.
was a lot of fun. I'm hoping we can do this again. We could probably do this like after the draft or something. Talk about who the Browns took and analyze and grade our draft, and probably do it after that. Probably do it around training camp again. Do it every once in a while. Heck, maybe during the season we can turn this into like a weekly thing. Who knows?
Definitely enjoy having you on here again, Crazy Dog. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here as always.
All right, now you take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Yeah, same to you.
All right, now.
All right, I'm out, guys. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. And I'm out. You already know.
All right, thanks again, man. All right, thanks to Crazy Dog and Quincy Carrier for coming on here with me with this live stream. And also, that was kind of short notice because I notified them about 24, 48 hours earlier. And I'm about to get off here in the next 5 minutes at least because I got to do some things. But, I'm definitely liking the moves that the Browns have made so far in this free agency. Now, I know, the Browns do definitely need to address left tackle, linebacker. In my opinion, if they don't address it here in free agency, they're definitely going to address that in the draft. Okay, you ask me, do you see any potential in Mason Rudolph, and do you think he'd be good enough to replace Ben? The answer to that, King AB, no. No. No, I don't think Mason Rudolph has that potential. Even when the Steelers were on that winning streak last year, they went on that streak because of their defense, not because of Mason Rudolph. As a matter of fact, Mason Rudolph played horrible in those games during that winning streak, and it ended up biting him in the butt once he played the Browns here in Cleveland. So the answer to that question is no. But I'm still, like I said, I definitely like the moves that Andrew Berry is making so far for the Browns. He filled a lot of holes. And also, I like that he's being smart with the money, unlike John Dorsey, when he was giving 4-year contracts to guys, who were in their late 20s or early 30s. He's giving cats like DJ Goodrich, Carl Joseph, and Kevin Johnson, 1-year prove-it deals. Kevin Johnson has a $3 million deal, but it could go up to $6 million if he, does the incentives that's presented in his contract. So definitely like that Andrew Berry has been flexible with the cap here. It shows he's definitely learned a lot from, the people he's been around, like Bill Polian, even Sashi Brown and John Dorsey, and definitely Howie Roseman and Philadelphia, where he, was who he was previously with before he took the Browns GM job. So I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Thanks for joining me. Okay, King AB, you asked me about Brian Hoyer. Yeah, there's been stories about Brian Hoyer interested going back to New England. I think Hoyer will have a pretty good chance of being the starter. He's a pretty solid starter. Matter of fact, he did a pretty nice job when he started here for the Browns. When they were on that winning streak, it looked like they were going to make the playoffs. But thanks to the NFGM, and also the owner, he forced the coach to play Johnny football, and we all see how that turned out. All right, I got to get out of here, y'all, because I got to do some things. I thank y'all for joining me. Once again, thanks to Quincy Carrier and Crazy Dog. Those are my favorite, those are one of my two favorite Browns YouTubers. Make sure y'all check out their channel, subscribe to them. They definitely give some great content. Excuse me, when it comes to the Browns and the NFL. I thank y'all for joining me here tonight. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Don't make it your last. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you click on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. So, till next time, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. QC out. Y'all make sure y'all stay safe, stay healthy, and make sure you take the precautions as we're battling, going through this coronavirus pandemic. Make sure you wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. Also, try your best to practice social distancing whenever you can. Just want y'all to protect yourselves out there. Stay safe, stay healthy. Once again, QC out.